Hey, what's up, everybody? Ralph here. So I came across this article on CNBC, and they seem to have found a solution as to why, over the past decade, college enrollment has been on the decline, right? And the solution they came up with is, wait for it, customer service, right? So customer service is the reason why over the past decade, less people are enrolling in the college. Not because increased cost of education, not because of more debt people are racking up going to school, not because of the fact that 5, 10 years later, after people are graduating, they're taking jobs that are completely outside of the degree in which they studied for. Now on top of that, they have tens of thousands of dollars of debt, and in some cases, $100,000 of debt. It's not because of that. The reason why less and less people are enrolling to college is because of customer service, right? So I came across this article, and keep in mind that this article is an opinion piece. So it gives you an idea of like what people think as to why certain people are just not as motivated or see the value in going to college anymore. And myself included, I think college is a huge scam, right? But let's get into this article and see why they feel that less people are are enrolling into college. So it says college enrollment in the U.S. has dropped by roughly 1 million students since 2020. And while the pandemic contributed to that decline, it didn't cause it. Enrollment has been falling for nearly a decade. These numbers should be a wake-up call for my fellow college administrators and everyone who cares about social progress and a robust economy. And college education still provides immense value to individuals and society. However, the students invested in these degrees today no longer perceive that value, in large part because institutions of higher education have done a poor job of adapting to the evolving needs of students. That must change. College administrators should take a page out of the corporate America's playbook and start making customer service a top priority. Our students, after all, are our customers. So that gives you an idea of like what they're thinking, that they have no idea why people are seeing less value in college education. I mean, obviously it costs so much to go to school, right? People are taking up a huge amount of debt, and they're not seeing that it's worth it, especially the degrees that they get. It's not netting them the amount of income that makes sense for them to acquire all that debt. So the fact that they think it's customer service that's going to help them just tells me that they have no idea what's going on. And the crazy thing is, like, if you think about it, I checked up the stat, like what percentage of the U.S. population has a degree. Only 38% of the population has a degree. So the majority of people don't have a college degree, and they seem to be functioning fine. Obviously, I don't know everyone's situation, but it shows you that you don't need a degree to be successful. Of course, if you have a degree, I mean, your income does show up. The statistics show that you do have higher incomes, but you also have attached to that a lot of debt. And for a lot of people, they're seeing that it's not worth it, right? So the fact that this person thinks, let's take a page out of corporate America and let's focus on customer service tells me they just have no idea what's going on. All right, so it says, historically, post-secondary institutions were designed for traditional students. These were primarily freshmen to high school graduates, predominantly from white and upper middle class, enrolled directly in degree-seeking program that schools they needed to succeed already in hand. But increasingly, college students come from different backgrounds. Minority students in the U.S. now account for 46% of the college population. About 20% of enrollees are older than 30, and part-time students are included more than 1 in 5 students as a child. In other words, just as customer base evolve over time, so do student bodies. Yet higher education has failed to keep up. We as college administrators should look to Disney and other companies for customer service insight. So let's be real. A big reason why people go to college is, obviously if you're 18-year-old, right, you've been living under the appearance for the past 18 years. College, you don't need to sell people the college experience, right? People are waiting. When you hit 18, like you're like, all right, you're going to college. You see that as an opportunity to get away from the parents, right? Go get your own little place. You might have to have a roommate, but at least you're getting away from your parents and going to experience life on your own as an adult. So you don't really need to sell people on that because they're gonna experience different people. They're gonna do certain things that's where it's almost like it's a 4-year vacation for a lot of students, right? It's just an opportunity to just be independent. And you don't really need to sell college, 18-year-olds on that idea. That's a lot of people go there for like, oh, I want to enjoy the college experience. I want to meet different people. If you're a girl, you want to experience different girls. If you're a girl, you want to experience different guys. So you don't really need to sell people on that idea. Obviously, education is a big part of that. But what makes people go is like, all right, I'm gonna be on my own. I'm gonna be away from the parents and away from I don't have to worry about my parents watching over me. I can do my own thing. So the fact that they think it's customer service is just not. It's not what it is. It's not what the issue is. The issue is the fact that a lot of things that you're learning in college it doesn't guarantee that you're gonna have a successful life. And I remember being in college, like a lot of things that I learned was just completely unnecessary, right? I struggled in school. Like for me, like school was a big struggle. I didn't like it, but for me it was just like, when I was there, it was just like, you're seeing that, the stuff that you're learning is just like, how am I going to use this in life? Okay, I just don't see this as impactful. I don't see it as necessary. A lot of things that you learn is just like, what am I going to use with this? And I think people are doing that, are seeing that. And luckily, I didn't graduate with a lot of debt. I graduated with like $12,000 debt, paid that off in 2018, so I'm fine. But there's a lot of people that tens of thousands of dollars debt, $100,000 debt for degrees that aren't netting them the income that they want. So, selling students on the college experience is not the issue. It's not even the customer service. I'm sure you could improve your customer service, but people are not seeing the value because it's just not worth it, right? So let's see. We keep going through this. It says, all right. So it says, so at JP Morgan Chase, another customer obsessed business has noted for Gen Z, the phone is the entry point into digital access. From registering for your classes to paying bills to accessing advising and tutoring, much of the student's transactional relationship with their institution should be a seamless digital experience. Higher education must also prioritize the equity and inclusion initiatives embraced by corporate America. Nearly 90% of students think it's important for their schools to direct more funding toward diversity, equity, and inclusion. However, just 66% believe their institutions are actually delivering adequate support for their classmates for undeserved groups. This is point. Again, I'm not saying that this shouldn't be a focus, but it's not the priority, right? This is not why people are not going to school, less and less people going to these universities. Inclusion. I mean, it's very, very diverse, and depending on where you go to, it's a good thing. Like even my experience, right? I went to urban school, right, where I dealt primarily with blacks and Latinos, Hispanic people. So when I went to the college that I went to, and my experience that first semester, that first year was a culture shock. I was one of the very few black kids in a lecture hall with like 300 students, and there was a bunch of it was just white people. So for me, it was like it was rough because I never had that experience. It was a complete culture shock. But for me, I thought it was a good thing because it was something that I had to learn. It was something that helped me grow as an individual. And even if I wanted to be around people that looked at me, there was culture centers like an African American culture center, West Indian culture center, where I can go with people that that look like me. But for me, I saw it as an experience where it was as an opportunity to grow and grow as an individual. And I saw it as a good thing. So for me, like if I look back, like my negative experiences with college wasn't because of inclusivity or any of that stuff. It wasn't that. For me, it was, first of all, obviously I didn't do well in college because I didn't get good grades. Obviously I graduated, but my experience was that the stuff that I was learning, I felt it very unnecessary. So it's just like, why am I learning these things? And I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. Maybe for some people that inclusivity and equity and all that stuff might be an issue, but for me that wasn't an issue. Even though my first year was a huge culture shock, but as time going on, each year I got better. I felt more comfortable in the environment, and it was a great thing for me because I've become a better person for it. But if I had any negative aspects to that for why I think college is like worthless, that wouldn't be it. Diversity and inclusion wouldn't be it. So for me, I don't think that was the issue. So they say as well, that's problematic given that challenges that students from less advantaged backgrounds experience. For example, around 58% of college students and 70% of black and 64% of Hispanic students experience food and housing insecurity of homelessness in 2020. That's not my experience, but maybe that's theirs. Colleges need to identify new ways to remove barriers to student success. Since the student bodies across many college campuses are incredibly diverse, it should be a mandate to deliver services that meet their unique needs, just as companies do with their customers. So with that in mind, colleges also need to work hard to broaden virtual learning options, expand resources of non-traditional students, and provide the streamlined digital experience that students expect. These changes won't just optimize student success and provide a sense of belonging, they also help to bolster the economy and increase financial mobility. Not to say that these things need to be improved, virtual learning, sure, but like I said, this is not the reason why more people are opting out of four-year universities. Big reason is a lot of people don't see the value in it. There's too much debt. You need to figure out how to lower the cost. Maybe if you can get the government out of it, that would help. But it's just too expensive, right? These people are taking, a lot of people are taking useless degrees, and then they're coming out of school with, finding a job, maybe not even finding a job, or if they do get a job, it's probably like $70,000 job, but they also have $100,000 of debt. And if you look at that financially, like the return on investment, it's just not worth it. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on this. The fact that they think it's customer service is what's going to help increase the enrollment of college students. I mean, they're wrong. That's just how I feel. I don't think that's going to be the case. It's they need to figure out how to make it increase the value, right? A lot of these degrees are worthless, to be honest, and they just need to figure out how to bring some more value to it, or make it less affordable, right? Even if and that's the thing, if you can make it more affordable, then obviously people taking these degrees, I mean, if they find out themselves like, all right, you know what, 5 years later, 10 years later, that they're in a job that doesn't match up with the degree that they went to school for, at least they can say, you know what, at least I don't have a whole bunch of debt, right? It's just when you look at it like, damn, I got a lot of debt. What the hell? Like, and it's for a degree that I'm not even using right now. So I think that's what a lot of people struggle with. So those are my thoughts. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it. If you got any comments or questions, make sure to leave it down below. Hit the like button, share, and please, if you haven't done so already, please do not forget to subscribe. All right. So you guys take care. Have a good one. Later.